those cameras there. So these, there's our backs. They've got good. Happy with those. Let me just get rid of that there. So there's one which didn't look so good. That's two. The interesting thing on these is they do have a slightly different look to doing the poor dark side first, because I worked it out. I had a thought. Hadn't thought about this at all. When you pour the resin against the wood, and you only pour it part way up, you get a slight meniscus, so the resin tips up where it meets the wood. And on all the other pendants I've done, that meniscus has been in the dark resin, so that's tipped up on the wood line. So that means you get a kind of slight lean forwards where the colours hit the resin. Because this has got the clear resin, that's actually tipping back, and it gives a more defined ridge line on the edge of the resin. And just how you can see, there's a little bit of a roll back there rather than a roll forwards, which I think is fine. You're going to have it one way or the other. It's going to happen one way or the other just because of science. It was just, I hadn't entirely appreciated that was what was going to happen. It hadn't occurred. It should have done if I'd stopped to think about it. We've also got a little bit of like ghosting on the edge there. So what I can tell from that is I probably didn't leave these. That's not one of them. That's a different piece altogether. Probably didn't leave these in the toaster quite long enough to make sure they were really dry. And it would be fine on a solid colour pour, but obviously because it's clear resin. This is the one which clouded a bit. That one I'll still turn it because it's entirely possible that discoloration is all at the top and get turned away. I mean, it's possible it isn't, but until it's turned, I can't tell. That could all be at the top. So these all need to get turned this week, ideally. Get them ready for the weekend. Definitely looking clearer on that resin than sometimes I've had it when I've done the clear second. So I think everything into consideration, that's the best way around to do it. That's number 7 on the large ones. Again, that looks a little bit discoloured at the top there, but I don't necessarily think it is. It could be though, actually. Looking at the join, that looks like maybe it's got a bit of moisture. Maybe it needed slightly longer in the toaster again, just to make sure all those surfaces are nice and dry. We'll turn them all and we'll find out. So, we've got those, which we've got backs and fronts to do, and we've also got these colour ones here, which we've just got fronts to do. I've also got, maybe at the end of this evening, I've got a whole load of the solid woods, which I've already run through the bounce. I've got them sitting in the bag with some desiccant gel, trying to pre-dry them a bit before we go in toast. So all of these, there's a bit of a mix here actually. Very quiet. I'm very quiet. I wonder. Sounds like only the phone mic's on. Let's have a look. Both mics are on, but that one must have decided it's a different microphone today. Default. No, you're not default. You are. USB codec. That should be better. There we go. Good job someone was here to tell me. Thank you, Freaky. There we go. So yeah, we've got these there's a mix of some of these are birchwood, but there's a whole load in here which are the discs out of solid wood that I've then scroll saw cut. I'm just leaving those in the bag with a whole load of silica desiccant gel to pre-dry them. I'm kind of contemplating leaving those there till tomorrow before I do any pours, just to make sure they can be as dry as they're going to be, and try and avoid that potential discoloration in the resin.
Oh no.
We'll see.
Not
I need to
again.
see which way around that camera I just moved this as well. Let me just have a look at what I actually did with that camera. Let's move that on to that one. Ooh. Ah, you are upside down. I think you're upside down. Or you're just looking somewhere really weird. No, you're not upside down. You're just looking somewhere weird. There we go. There we go. Actually, that'll work nicely. That will work nicely because that means I can put my decent clampy thing onto the camera, the other camera. Words. Decent clampy thing, other camera. It means I can move that to fit where it needs to be. That's what it means. That's what it is. And this one here, come and say hello to me. That's better. So let me just adjust my video camera one onto a hopefully more solid mount. And then we'll be sorted. This is like pro streaming. This is people who sort everything before they start and nothing ever goes weird. That's what we like. Let's put that into there. The thread on my video camera is not the best. Definitely not the best. It's like low cost plastic thread. Doesn't actually want to go onto that thread on there. That's awkward. Let's see if I can do this another way. If I do it onto that one, because I know this one fits. I've had it on this one before. We'll get sorted. That camera is desperate not to follow me today. I mean, I can't blame it, if I'm being honest. It does seem to not like the look of me today. Why can't I thread? Oh, wait. So I'm being an idiot and trying to thread it into the wrong hole. Don't use the wrong hole, people. Check what hole you're putting things in. It's general sound advice for life, that is.
Hello.
Netkisser, how are we doing? That should make that camera there a bit more flexible and a bit more stable, is the theory. But why does it not? Most stressful shift? Any particular reason? Is it the start of the Christmas sales going through? Is that what you're starting to see? All the online orders starting to come in for festiveness and people spending and stuff like that. Right. Lock you there. Lock you there. Bring you not super zoomed in. I think almost got it. We've got it! All that effort. Sometimes I make things look so much harder than they need to be. There we go. Right, now we have cameras sorted. Let's get some of these turned. I want to do these ones we cast last night. So I'm going to do a couple of the big ones first. We'll see how we do on those. And then we'll move on. Right. So installation guy means he's messed something up, and whatever he was meant to be setting up probably doesn't do what it's meant to do. Am I about right? I think I've just taken that guess, and the answer is no, they definitely didn't. He's installed the day off option on the machines, which gives everyone at work a day off because none of them work. Is that about right? He was called back. Words were had. Right. That box there can go over there. That will just want to go in with me. The X-ray machine, yeah. Turning the installation guy off and on again, make him work. Right, we want to just swing this camera down towards the lathe, and then we're good to start. And then at least he got it working again. You know, it could have been worse. There we go. 1, 2. If we go, yeah. I'm sure Freaky will confirm that those timescales are basically on time for Deutsche Bahn. Freaky, what was Tim's friend's dad a happy bunny today? Let's have a watch for how much we need to turn on this. That is nice and flat. That's all we need. Nice thin layer. It's good. I'll probably just do 3 or 4 of these. It's ordered his Hunchback game. I hope the 8-bit quality is everything he is. Is it even 8-bit? Is it as much as 8-bit? I think it's C64's 8-bit, isn't it? So clearly it was a software problem. Well, that's not where department life. I need to get better at actually reading out what people say on chats, because we've got like YouTube and Facebook and stuff as well, and they can't see what you're all saying on Twitch. There we go. We got fancy, people. We got fancy. That's what we did. What we give. Give it a proper. Now that I know, now that I've got the ability to do it without bandwidth issues, I thought we'd give it a proper shot at using all the networks. Might we go? Load that up. So what do I say? I'm going to do 4 of the big ones, 3 of the small ones. Okay, let's make it easy for you to read the chat. Fair enough, Freaky. Thank you for your care and consideration. I appreciate it. And there. Just do 3 of the little ones today, I think. That one there. And that one there. You thought that was going to make it. Oh, welcome. No. I always appreciate the efforts people go to support the stream, Freaky, and you know, you do realise that you can just make it really difficult for me by talking in German instead of English. That'd be actually a lot harder than be much easier for you and much harder for me than trying to read your upside down writing. That's all it would take. And then I'd have to ban you, obviously, but you know. I think what looks weirdest about having it upside down like that is the alignment of the tails on the letters going up. There was an instance somewhere in the world in August, got new rules because of that, and now this new thing should be able to get a hold of. Bravo, Oscar! Mama Bravo expert within 90 seconds. Okay. But due to an incident somewhere in the world, there is now someone getting paid a very handsome on-call fee to sit there on the off chance that you do need that service. Why that one not work? There's always something doesn't work, isn't there? Always something does not play nice. There we go. Play nice now. Let's get this up. Yeah, but it's still an outside service that is charging every single installation a fancy on-call fee for something that is probably not particularly needed most of the time. I mean, sure, there will be an occasion when it's definitely needed, definitely wanted, and everyone goes, oh, thank God we had that. It's fair enough to say that's probably going to be the case. But most of the time, it's going to be unused. I mean, it's important, actually, if you think about it, Freaky. It's important that the guy who knows it's about to go bang very quickly is as far away from that place as possible. You don't want to be the guy who's like, yeah, you've got a problem there, and actually be there at the same time. You want to be like, you've got a problem there, and I'm 100 miles away. Good luck. That's what's needed. Still not put me ordering. I'm definitely ordering a new toy. Probably end up doing it tomorrow. New toy. Yeah. Because, yeah. He'd be like, I know it's the first time I've ever spoken to you. I'm sure you're a really nice person. Six nines. Yeah. Of course, no. You want 100% uptime SWK. 100%. We're not having you slacking off your 0.0001% downtime. Workers of today. It's a bit thick.
Hello.
Billy, what? Welcome in. How you doing? It's definitely not straightforward figuring out just what depth you've got the resin to on these on that first pour. Because either way, it's going to annoy you. Too little or too much. There's no win. I almost need to get a little ultrasonic level detector that can go over the pore and sound an alarm when it's just at the perfect depth. It'll be called Mother Bear. Because it won't be too little. It's just right. I reckon there must be little chips for like Arduino type devices that you can do level sensing with. I mean, I assume it would be a complete overkill for anything that I'm doing, but you must be able to have ultrasonic or similar level detection devices that you can set up an Arduino to go, right, that's gone up by 5 millimeters now. That's good. Stop there. Oh, you think you're just doing the simple little wire over the edge trick, Freaky? Old school. Where's the high-tech fun in little wire over the edge? Check if it's conductive first. Sat Netkisser booted the Pallet X-ray machine 4 times this week. Once on Monday, 3 times today. A BFH or a BOFH? Are they the same thing, or are they 2 different acronyms? SWK. I mean, I don't think the BOFH would be big hammer. The O does make quite a difference then. I was going to say the BOFH is probably why it doesn't work in the first place. But with sticky resin, yeah, that's pretty key. Floaty thing pushes the button. That's why I wanted non-contact. The BOFH uses a BFH. That would make perfect sense. That would make perfect sense.
Look. Practically, I can't remember what PFY stands for. I feel I should know, but I can't remember what PFY stands for. Pimple-faced youth. BOFH's assistant. Erstwhile assistant. And if you're not an occasional reader of LReg, you'll have no idea what we're talking about. You only have to be an occasional reader, not a regular. Doesn't have to be a hard habit. Tries with highest regulation land work. What time they were in long before you. Oh. Yeah, they're just looking on the paperwork. That's the nice thing about regulatory visits. They don't actually look at what you do, they just look at the paperwork to say you've done it. Ewok. I would have thought you would be a reg reader, given your line of interests in networking and stuff. I'd have thought the reg would be right up your street. Industrial purposes, there's a fill level measuring with radar. Yep. Laser. Is the laser on a shark's head? If it's not a laser on a shark's head, we don't want it. I want a shark that I can dangle by its tail above my resin molds, just to use the laser on its head. I think that would work. Although maybe all the water and the resin wouldn't mix. Maybe that's a bad idea. Yeah, I was thinking of ultrasonic as the simplest, straightforward option. reg.co.ul, not .co.uk. Well, I didn't even know it had a different domain than the .co.uk. Naturally, being British, I would always go to the .co.uk. Sellouts. They redirect you. Do you have to use a VPN just so it doesn't redirect you? You're getting the edited and highly redacted version of it. That's what it is. all the bits that nobody trusts you to know. That's what it is. We're hiding the good stuff. Right, we've still got a little bit of that resin pool there, so it's got a slight dint there. So just another little scrape to clear that. GDE network. Yeah, I reckon we'd let Germans in. We'd definitely let Germans in. Talking of Germans, I wonder if Freaky's friend will get a proof of delivery to the address that I've given him for the thing that he's ordering, so that I know when to go and collect it. Sleeper cell. Not going to say that aloud, are we? Needs to build a UK network. I was looking at a warehouse across from local Costco. And that looks incredibly well fenced in and barriered for a warehouse. So naturally, I had to go and look at what it was. Turns out it's a very large co-location data center now. Custom bare metal hosting? Do you mean co-location for your own equipment? Or do you want something more than co-location, something that's fully managed? Oh, camera froze. I mean, I tend to use Crystal, Krystal. They may or may not have what you're after, but I'd possibly give them a look. It's crystal.uk. But I'm usually using theirs for shared hosting, so I couldn't swear to them offering what you'd want, but I know they do have more than just Crystal. No, Krystal. It's kind of being quirky and stuff, you see. Crystal.io, that sounds about right. I know they've been playing with their domains recently. Is that not quite big enough for you? TTS does not like the word gigabits. It's a little small. Let me find. So the sensor that I was talking about, I don't know, they may have more than just... I mean, obviously, data center, they do the install and everything. No, Freaky, they use carrier pigeon. Daft. What's the company that I was looking at? Because take a look, it may be the sort of thing that you're after. It is. This is how quiet they keep who the business is. I'll just show you this on Google Maps. It's probably not going to, but Costco petrol filling station. It's these two buildings here, which, you know, DHL, flip out, veterinary, but two completely blank buildings. That's the data center. Which is why we then go to Street View, because they do actually have a sign on the front on Street View, which says the name of the company. If you get the right angle. Proximity. I think it's going to be proximity.
Not again.
Let me check. Get a keyboard. Yeah, proximity house. Let's grab that URL there. SWK. Take a look at them, but they're co-location peoples. $2549 is, of course, an upgrade for RC 1149. Don't argue the man who quotes RFCs. $1149 is IP over avian carrier, over avian carrier QoS. And the weird thing is, they are actual true RFCs as well, aren't they? I seem to recall they were released as proper RFCs as an April Fool's thing. And again, for those who don't read the reg, I just realised I should not have that on and the dust extractor on. RFC, request for comment. It's a pre-draft type thing of protocols, which actually ends up being the protocol in its own right, I guess, until something better comes along. See, wood turning and computery nerdy stuff. What more can a man want? A camera is not so jerky. That would be good. $1149, 1st April 1990. Okay, so what's 6241 then? 1149 for IPv6. How do we work carrier pigeon with IPv6? Is all those big long numbers not too complicated for them? That's why it's a whole protocol for it. Ah, SWK, I thought you'd have that RFC memorized. And you most definitely did not eat this tasty plump pigeon. paraphrased, definitely not the actual quote, but I'm sure someone will recognise what it's paraphrased from. Just for the last of the big ones from the back. Oh, that must be a fun party trick down in the bar, quoting RFCs. Something useful for the pub quiz as well, I'm sure. Surely, if the specification can be interpreted in more than one way, that points to it not being a very good specification. I kind of feel personally that specifications should not be open to interpretation. Still already. All this mica can be very brutal on sandy paper bits. I didn't say that was how it was in the world. I just said that it shouldn't be. I will concede though, this is a very long time since I have actually read an RFC. I have read RFCs for my sins, but I haven't had to do so for well over 10 years. Yep. And the RFC, well, I mean, I suppose technically the W3C stuff is a form of RFC. I think it does go through RFC before it becomes W3C standard. And yeah, that says all you need to say about how badly written standards and things ever are. ITU? Three GPP is mobile. Okay. I suspect their specs have all got an actual RFC number as well somewhere hidden away, but never actually used. Right. Ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba. Once we've done this one, we'll switch over to the O'Donnell jaws to do the 3 smaller ones, and then we'll go on to the vacuum chuck to do the big ones, and then the glue chuck to do the small ones. We'll just see how far we can get in the time that we've got. It's only 9:15 though. SWK is just going to rule the TLAs in order to confuse TF out of everyone. I think he's just making up those letters, to be honest. CGPP defines the RCs that get adopted by the ITF and then also defines the TS. You're just making those letters up, SWK, and we know it. You're going for the old BSBB protocol. I'm still there, so you can do it as well. Problem shared is fucking annoying to everybody else. And that's what they say. Right. Turn that dust extractor off for a second. Switch these out to the O'Donnell jaws. Slam script smaller stuff. 1. Oh, sorry, 4. 3. 2. And 1. Go on side there. Grab. Number 4. Number 3. There's number 1 there. One, 2, 3. Feels like an episode of Sesame Street. 4. 4 jaws in the chuck. 4. Uh-oh. We've messed up. Use the terms may and must. I was going to say they are plain English terms. One is obligatory and one is optional. I mean, surely that's anyone would know. You can't get confused on terms that are so obviously one thing or the other, can you? You would like to think you couldn't. This is where you find out, SWK, that you clearly don't get paid to think. Right, switched over, locked in. Well, they clearly don't get paid to think then. We see a little ghosting of where the background is. A little bit wary going too deep on that one. We're good there. I'm going to nod, smile sweetly, and pretend I understand what you just said about direct peering with dial tones. And too much optimism. It's probably about right. Okay. So a direct point-to-point connection. T1 everyone used to want. Back in the day, maybe. But no, I mean, a T1 was just direct to exchange. Oh, a managing director. That's what they do. Managing directors are professional meeting attenders. We put 10 gig in, and like we now want to do 8 times that. Just keeping it small. Don't really need the whole 2 for redundancy. I mean, if you're only using 10, then doesn't the 40 include... No, because they're separate cables, I know, but yeah. I mean, if they're separate cables, but in like the same trench, it still only takes one farm to screw them up. That was always how you knew, that farmers were out ploughing fields, is because you got the power cuts. Looking forward to seeing how these turn on the front. That's the sort of phrase which comes out when you've just received an email. Meeting invites for a follow-up call with him in 7 minutes. Yeah, I don't read meeting invites of something within 7 minutes. I try not to. Turn back. Sorry, I'm watching someone from the UK on Twitch. I've got to get my priorities straight here. So far, I'm quite happy with how these are looking on the back turning. And one more after this, and we get to start having a look at how they're looking on the front turning. Rock, how you doing? Less than 10 people on the meeting invite. Well, SWK, that's an improvement. We're doing pretty well. Doing pretty well. We are just turning tonight. I'll show you the fronts of these in a second. These are some of the Aurora pendants, which were cast yesterday. And changed the casting method ever so slightly from what I've done before. So let's get one of the bigger ones that each to serve. So the back has got a dark finish to it. These ones are black and copper. And that's a very thin layer of the black and copper on the back. You can see on the edge how thin it is. Clear overcoat, and then we dusted on the chameleon powders on top. Once that's all polished up, they will really sparkle and shine. But basically the idea is, as you look on different angles, the colours in there shift and change. It gives a bit of a Northern Lights sort of a feel. And every single one that we do comes out a little bit different. Terrence, welcome in. Yeah, I'm really pleased how these come out. So this was a slightly different. I've done quite a few of these before, but I've always cast them before that I've done the dark layer first, dusted the colours on, and then clear coated. And the problem you get with that is because they're just the mica's just sitting on the resin. When you do the second pour, some of it lifts up into the resin, and that can make that clear look a little bit cloudy. So I tried it the opposite way around this time. Poured the clear first, put the micas on the back of the clear, and then poured the dark. So some of those micas have lifted into that black resin, but A, it's quite imperceptible, and B, even if you do get the occasional little sparkle of something coming through, it doesn't matter. It's not spoiling the transparent sort of magnifying, especially these are domed over, so like magnify a bit as well. Yeah, exactly. That's what everyone says when they see them. So we've got one more back to do of what we're doing tonight. So we've got another 3 big ones and 4 small ones for another time. But I thought I'd just get 7 of them set up tonight. So we've got those and quite a few of the solid colour pendants waiting to turn on the fronts. But by the end of tonight, we'll have a couple of these turned up, ready for you to be able to see how they come out. I'll be able to take them to market on Saturday. Or are we? Oh, Wilmslow on Saturday. Wilmslow. The Christmas lights switch on, which means it's a late evening. We finish about 5 o'clock. Which for a street market, when it's dark by about 4, 5 o'clock's a late evening. Does mean I need to... Actually, that's what I do need to do tomorrow. I need to go to the Christmas shop tomorrow and see if they've got any budget, like, festoon lights. I've got some little red cherry lights, which I string around, but some nice festoon lights across the store to run off my power bank quite happily. That's what we need. That's Christmas shop. Factory outlet Christmas shop. Fortunately, I live fairly close to one of the larger industrial estates in the country. And one of the companies on that estate is Premier Decorations, who are one of the largest suppliers of Christmas decorations. Basically, they import them all from China, obviously. But their warehouse is 4 or 5 miles from home. And this time of year, once all their stock's been sent out to garden centres and wherever else you buy your Christmas decorations from, they turn the warehouse over to an outlet store. So anything that comes back as like damaged boxes or overstock or anything like that goes into the outlet store. There's usually some good bargains to be had there. And it's all Christmassy with lights and stuff. What more can you want? So I usually go at least once a year. It's only just sometimes I get to so they close mid-December.
Hello.
And sometimes I forget. How are you doing? Good to see you. That's just the back of it. Wait till you see the front. Black and copper is a good combo, though. It's copper, wasn't it? Not bronze or brass. Fairly sure it was copper. Oh no, bronze. Black and bronze. It were that one. It were that one. Oh, nice. I've actually not gone back and done any more. I ought to do more off-center rings. Every so often I get people ask about them. I've never. I ought to make more of them. I should. Once I've got my new 3D printer that I plan on ordering you tonight or tomorrow morning, once that goes, I can print a set of soft jaws. So I use these soft jaws here for the large pendants, off-center pendants, but they're just basically cut out of plastic. But if I take all those dimensions and stuff, I could model that up with the cutout section on each of the jaws already in place and 3D print those for different sizes. And then I could set one up to do off-centers on this smaller size rather than this larger size. That would be good. He's having all sorts of plans about designing. This is the problem. He has all sorts of plans about designing things to 3D print. Actually progressing that to the designing and printing it stage doesn't always happen. Who knows? Maybe if I have a faster, better printer, more. No. That's the intention at least. Faster, better printer. That because part of the planning things is that your first plan doesn't always work out, and obviously if you can print it and go that's not quite right, and then you can redesign it and print it faster, then you're more likely to do it. If everything's a really drawn out process every time you print it and go that's not quite what I wanted, then maybe you're not as inclined to go back and print more. There are a number of jigs and fittings for like the bandsaw and the pillar drill, which I have thought of designing and 3D printing something. I just dread the idea of doing it on my Ender 3. So, plan is by the end of this week to have ordered a bamboo P1S. And once that arrives, I've already in fact worked out the space in the office where it will sit quite comfortably. And then we can have a go at getting some of those things designed up and printed and ready for use. So I've heard good things about the A1 and the A1 Mini. Although I've heard most people sort of regret not getting the full-sized A1 versus the Mini purely for the size that it prints. Because there's not a huge price difference between them. I mean, there is a price difference, but it's not huge. So I think from what I've seen people saying, unless you're strictly space restricted, I'm not sure why you'd go for the Mini versus the full-size A1. And the AMS is a must. Everyone said it's a must.
Not again.
I'm definitely ordering the AMS for the P1S. Rock, exactly. Same with I can turn as small as I like on this big lathe here, and this is not a small lathe by any means. But you can't. I couldn't turn a big, huge bowl on it. I mean that lathe. There you go. So this here to here is the lathe. It's got a lower bed here. I could turn easily a 2-meter diameter bowl on this, but I mainly turn little 35mm things on it. But if I went the other way, hello, if I went the other way to the small lathe, I could turn these fine, but I couldn't turn anything big if I wanted to. And most people go, but you never do turn anything big anyway. Back already. Have you been enthused to become a teacher, Frog? Maybe it's just me, but at the moment, Twitch ads seem to be exclusively, virtually every time I get a Twitch ad, at least one of them is telling me I ought to think about becoming a teacher. It'll change your life, apparently. Level implement, yeah. Rock was all. I mean, spatial features is exactly why I got the snap maker for my first 3D printer, CNC and laser, and 3D printer wasn't the reason I got it. I wanted it for laser and CNC, and I knew I wouldn't have the space for 2 separate devices in my workshop, so Snapmaker was a good compromise. And for what I do, it's a bit annoying having to print so slowly. I probably will upgrade the laser and CNC head. I'll probably upgrade the CNC head first. I think that's the one that's probably going to be more beneficial to me to make more rigid and more powerful. But it's a compromise because I just don't have the space to have 2 separate machines to do those things. But now they've got a quick change kit and a bracing kit and a more powerful motor that I can get. The more powerful spindle comes with the bracing kit, so that makes it all a bit more rigid. Because yeah, it's a bed slinger CNC. Which has issues with just how rigid it can be. So that just shuts it off for a few minutes while we get ready for changing everything over. So we're going to go vacuum chuck, although I do think my vacuum pump is definitely overdue for an oil change. That's the other thing I need to do tomorrow. Oh no! I've ordered new oil for it, so that should arrive tomorrow, and that means I can change the oil at last in the vacuum pump tomorrow. Well overdue. I dread to think how unpleasant the oil that's in there at the moment is going to be. One last run on wheel it's got in today to get these, or the larger ones of these turned, at least. Right, so put that to one side. We'll come back to those later. Let's take those jaws out. Let's that is going to be right there. 1, 2. Dropped them. Not what we wanted. 1, 2. Right. This needs to come off. I have misplaced the actual key that goes. There's a little lock pin that goes into the side that stops it from spinning. I've misplaced the proper one, so I keep having to try and find a suitably sized screw or something that will find that hole and lock it. One day I'll locate where I put the actual lock pin. Someday, one day. Right, so vacuum chuck attachment goes through. Who knows, maybe it won't be too long before we have a fancy new vacuum truck attachment to try. Print one. I mean, I've got a metal lathe, I could turn a new one with a metal lathe. Poor metal lathe just thinks it's been abandoned. As nobody loves me anymore. So I came to the new country. Owen's garage. Such high hopes and aspirations. I was going to do so many things. Just thrown on the. It's not been thrown on the scrap heap. It hasn't. It does get the occasional use. It was never going to be a main tool. Okay, just saying this. It was always going to be a. It would be useful for certain things, but most of the time it won't get used. Sorry. They have feelings. I think tools have feelings. You about there. Get that little tone change in the vacuum pump, which lets us know it's got a vacuum. That camera is looking somewhere weird. In fact, both of those cameras are now looking somewhere weird after we've taken off the big chuck. Let's have a little rearrange what they are looking at. You down there. You can have simple overhead. You can put it from there. There we go. That's what we want. Up. Get a bit closer to our full rest. Fine. Dust extractor goes on. And let's start shaping this one. Make it quite gentle with all those uneven edges. I have a feeling the dust extractor is due an emptying, which is not a nice process. That is definitely put a full face shield on. Or at least a half face respirator on. Because it's dust everywhere when you change it over. And put a bit more pressure going to the edges to build that around. Now we'll have a check as to how that front's looking before we go any further. So, just look there, right in the middle, we've still got the bandsaw tooth marks. So that needs to come a bit further back. There may be some tiny little bubble gaps along the edge. We'll fill those with CA glue if we need to. That's all we'll do with those. That will work just fine. That is the result of not having left these in the toaster oven to dry the surface off sufficiently before I did that first cast. I've been rushing it a little bit. Which is why instead I've got the next batch sitting with the silica gel desiccant stuff for 4 hours before I do anything, just to make sure it's nice and dry before I start pouring. The interesting thing is, though, it's actually quite a nice effect you get from that little bit of moisture on the wood surface. It kind of makes it look like you've got hills with fog rolling over them. So it's not what you intend to do necessarily, but it's definitely not an unpleasant result that you get from it. Still, those two little lines there are from the bandsaw blades, so a little bit further to go on that. Let's see if it's gone far enough. We're only talking like a millimetre or so. Yeah, that's cleaned that up nicely. It's a little bit thick on that edge there, but we'll see what we can do with that. So that's the other thing, that's if the backlayed resin is uneven or too thick, it can leave a bit of a black ring on the edges, which is, again, not entirely what you want. You turn that back. We've got rid of that black edge ring. That's fine. That thickness there is going to be okay with the bales that I've got. So what I want to do now is just around that edge there, I'm going to get my thin CA and just run it on that joint to fill in any little voids there. Get some fresh tissue paper for that. Just help make sure that if there are little voids along the edge from the fuzziness, they get filled. And we get a nice clean surface finish. The other option for thin CA is to use UV resin for this, but my UV light is in the house. So it's thin CA today. Give that a few seconds to cure itself off. I don't really want to use accelerator because that causes it to foam a bit. That thin CA does not look as thin as it used to be. That is starting to become a medium CA. Right off the excess a little bit. Let that start spinning now. I'll fix that. I'll get my bottle of water. Turn your back. Please tell me that didn't go down with the subtractor. Now, annoyingly, it's the hose clip came off the end. Didn't actually lose its vacuum. It lost its hose clip. There it is. It didn't go down with dust extractor at least. I've still got it. It's the worst thing when you get to a stage like this and it disappears completely. That should be fairly close. Screw net kisser. Screw. We knew it was coming. It's probably, I mean, that's actually fairly close to being true. I'll take that. Just move the little spring clip on the hose clip ever so slightly further forwards. So, light. Just going to bring that inch through. Yeah, that had very little vibration. It was good. Same edge here. Yeah, that is actually went back on about as simply as it could, I think. It's fresh. Sandy paper. 3, 4, 6. Support 3. Bring that down. You can still see some voids on that edge, so we're going to have to air blow those out and try a bit more glue in them. That one there is the main one. The tiny one's on the other side, but that's the one that's going to be really obvious. I was thinking might go with thick glue for this rather than thin. That on. Leave it there for a short while to set. So I might accelerate this off to speed it up a little bit. It should be fine. If I can see where my accelerator is, it's up here. So that will need to get cut back again, because that will leave a ridge that I don't want to just try and sand through. Let's just spin that up. Nice light pass to get that little ridge of glue off. On the little heavy out. Center, it's a bit that's not being caught. I think we'll be good sanding that up now. We'll find out, because once we start sanding it, if there are still any little voids there, they will fill up with sawdust. Sanding dust. See, that main one, definitely gone. That side's fine. Do that. See, so it's got a slightly thick rim on the edge. Okay. Fine, it's not too big. I think the others are a bit thinner by the looks. Probably the one which came out thickest on that. But also, I think possibly the way that whole meniscus has worked. Look at these. I think the very edge of the pendant is not. Let's show you this one here. Can I find my camera there? Wrong camera. I'll move the camera. Let's swap that one and that one. There we go. But where's the edge there? See that edge there, the black at the back and the white in the front? You can see inside that black actually mounds up. So the way the meniscus has worked with the clear resin, it's lifted up at the sides, so it gives a false impression of how much black there actually is. I think that's what's going on there. So I could have probably taken another 0.5 millimeter or so off the back of those. So try and bear that in mind when it comes to doing the other ones. But if you get right to the clear on the very edge, you've still got plenty of solid colour actually in from the edge. What happens today, is it? It was unhappy yesterday, but it wasn't this unhappy. Yes. Just stop. And that one is the first phase. One side, load the next one. So,
again.
He says and rising. He says and rising. That's been the same number of years. We all know it. Does see a bit of a roughness in the middle there. But so actually looking fine in the middle. It's got a couple of gaps which we'll need to fill with CA. Might do that before we go any further. No, I'll take the edge, needs from the edge up first, and then we'll do the gaps. Right. So looking at basically we'll run 3 voids in the resin there. They'll fill nicely with CA glue. Right into those 3 voids. Let's sit and do its thing for a few seconds. We are 10 past 10. Seconds more, and then we can accelerate it. Repenting. Let's give it a squirt. And then we'll just put across that to even it out before we start sanding. That's that nicely. Possibly, I'm going to sand it and I'll have a look and see how that sands up. At the moment, I can see where those are filled, but they do feel like they filled, so I think it could just be a bit of slight layers. And if they fill with sawdust, sanding dust, then there's still a bit of a hole there, and just go back and do a second fill on. If they don't, we're good. So that looks like we can be fine with those. A few fresh bits of tissue for the lacquers. And the abrasive waxes, so 4 fresh bits of tissue. And over here. 1, 2, 3. Let's see it on first. I'm just soaking really quickly in the wood, so I'll do 2 coats of seal on this one. This looks like it might have a slight cloudiness going onto it. See how it looks. It might work, it might not. We'll decide. So almost always the answer. It might work, it might not. For seconds for that. Just touch dry. When we get to the next stage with waxes, we'll see how clear that really is. If it looks like a little bit of cloud in the sky, I mean, the whole thing looks northern lights-ish, so if it looks like a bit of cloud in the sky, then we're not going to complain too much on that front. If it looks like it's just all dirty and scratched, then it's an issue. The worst it'll be probably is looking like there's a bit of cloud in the sky. Or it may be clear and it just looks at the moment like it's going to be not. Then it's going to be clear. Something's happened on that fourth. light does not want to work. I think if that light doesn't want to work, that gooseneck would be brilliant. Perfect for mounting a camera on. There you go. They're not problems, they're solutions to other problems we had before. Don't know at the moment. Let's have a look at this. Just put that off. So it's got that sort of cloudiness going on up there, which must mean that it wasn't completely dry on the surface at some point. Camera in here. I don't think it's. I mean, with like that's got that must have been super moist, damp on the surface there. It's a proper hill fog. I kind of think that works with like the rolling fog on the hill as well, and bit in the sky. But I'm not hating it. I'm not hating it. Which is a good starting point to not hate it. I'm going to go all Bob Ross on it. Happy little accidents. Look on that one. Not quite flash to the front there. I think we're looking fine and everything else. Just a tiny bit more. They always told me if the wind changed, your face would stick that way. Clearly, today is the day. Wind must have been changing. Thank you, Netkisser. No idea where that saying came from, but as a kid, if you ever like pulling faces, No child would ever pull faces. Guaranteed, someone say, oh, the wind will change, should be stuck like that. Is that how it works? Is your face wind dependent? This one, the kneading, filling. We're okay along the edge. It's a little flat there, but I think that will sand it close. I'm just going to sand. No, needs to go around that edge a little bit more. We've got a little bit of excess resin on the edge still. It's fine. 7, 1. We get around the back because that's what's got a little bit of tear up in those side cuts. You don't want the sharp edge there. Yeah. Camera angles all make quite a difference to how the light reflects on the backings of them. And this is a little bit of a dark corner where the heads of the lathe is. I could do with an actual working better light for this. I may have to have a look on Amazon, see if I can find some nice panel lights that would work well to put some actual focus lights into where we're working. Blow out all the colours naturally. I think the plan tomorrow we'll do a resin pour on the ones that I cut on the scroll saw earlier tonight. So they would have been sitting in a bag with silica gel for, what, 30 hours from tomorrow evening? So they should have any surface moisture at least drawn off properly. They will still go in the toast oven to heat through and dry out a bit more. And they will we'll go with the straight colours on those, I think. Well, I might try and do them so that each one's got two different colours blended. There's always a slight problem on that. Sometimes it works really well and everyone goes, oh, I love those colour combinations. But other times, you're waiting for the person who likes that combination. Whereas single colours, it's much easier to find someone who likes just that one colour. Pop that one there. So that is our third one of these for today. That one you really get to see the colour shifts. So last one of these Aurora pendants on the large ones. And I'm going to turn after this while I've got the vacuum chuck on, I've got 4 other large pendants to get turned. So I think we'll just work through those ones tonight rather than switch out to the glue chuck for the smaller ones. That means tomorrow we will probably be back to turning the smaller ones in the glue chuck, get those finished off, and a bit of a resin pour. When we do the small ones, I will start with the Auroras. So I have 3 of the Aurora pendants to do, and then I think it was 8 of the others to do. With no backs to turn, they're all... Oh no, the Auroras... No, there's no backs to turn, they're all done on the backs. So it'll be straight to putting the glue chuck on and prints on those tomorrow. This one definitely feels thicker than the last one was. But it looks if he's putting glue on that. That camera frozen again. Fuzzies. Look at that front. So that's want to go a little bit deeper on that front. That's tooling marks there, not little voids. One more. Sort the edge out and then we'll check again. A little bit flat across the top, so we'll just round that in a bit more. see if we need to fill anything on this one. It's actually looking okay. Tiny little ridge there, so I'll put some CA on that tiny little ridge. Where did I put my... There I put mine. And then we'll get to finishing this one. This airline to blow out any dust. Yeah. Filled. Film the Kraken. It's done. A few more seconds. You want it to cure as much by itself as I can before I put the accelerator on it. Where's the accelerator? Still got that in there, I think. And then it's got a little ridge of the glue overfill in the centre. Cut that back and then you start sanding. Field minister to the field. Right in the centre. It's maybe onto the hair more. Feels fine. Keeping the speed down. Get off. Let's do sandpaper. Okay. It's only the first one, I think, where I had an actual too thick a back on the black resin. Few seconds. Let's try now.
Oh, no. Not again.
And he named the woman who succeeded, Mary Robinson, as President of Ireland in '97. No, I can't. But yeah, Ireland's had women as presidents. saying. Apparently it can be done. Really, it's only the wood that needs to lacquer on this, but you can't really just put the lacquer on the one part. So it goes across the whole lot. Mary McAleese. I think I'm right in saying the president and the Taoiseach are two different roles, aren't they? President is a single, like, head of state role, and Taoiseach is the leader of the parliament, like prime minister role. I think that's right. Although I do say the easiest way to get the correct answer on the internet is to say something that was wrong and let everybody correct you. Hmm. That is number 4 of the Auroras tonight. Quite pleased with how they've all come out. We are just bring up to 20 to 11. Let's see how we can do with the other 4 pendants I've got here. I'm going to leave that spinning for a second. I'm going to go and put a fresh edge onto the bowl gouge. We've not sharpened that yet tonight. This overdue. There it is. So this one. That's it. You have a head filter on. One thing I always forget to turn on is the overhead air scrubber. I guess the positive aspect of that is it means the filter will be nice and clean. These have a different issue to the Auroras. What you don't want on these is a very thin section of resin covering over some wood. It looks horrible. I think we're okay on that one. Maybe that is, no, a little bit more. I think there's a tiny sort of section of resin covering the wood there. A bit. Looking good. Something started. I will say, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, especially if it's not live, most of what I do is live streaming. I never quite got the video editing thing. You will catch me if you follow, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Then most weeks, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I will be live roughly 8 PM UK time till about 11 PM. And then the videos will be up after that to go back and watch if you want. Both ways. I'm going to have to get into going back onto those saved videos and adding tags and stuff to them so they can be found. That's the bit I'm going to have to start remembering to do. They should all automatically publish to my feeds and timelines and whatever else you've got. But actually making them discoverable, that's the bit to not forget. But about 15 minutes left, so we should get another one or two of these done. Armpit Pete, may your creativity be as unique as your. Thank you for the follow. Just try and clean my sandpaper out a little bit. Maybe he's not meant to be rude to the new followers. Just saying. Maybe he didn't get that. He might just be having like one of those weeks. That's what you get when you get your bots from Fiverr. I think we worked out yesterday. It's not a real bot. It's just someone sitting in a lecture, not really paying attention and following chat so they can say useful things every so often. Paid them 5 pence an hour. I thought it was pretty good. I thought that was more than fair. I actually need to remember I can get my mainstream bot to connect into YouTube chat as well. I'll have to have a look into doing that. I don't think I can send it to Facebook. Facebook's not really chat, Facebook's comments. It's not quite the same kettle of fish or whatever. Okay. So, about 10 minutes. One, maybe two more of these, and it'll be time to end the stream for tonight. Which means, if we've got anyone that would make a good raid target, let me know. Otherwise, I'll have to have a hunt once I finish my last pendant and see who I can find to send the chat on to. There we go. That's our blues. Light blues. There's quite a lot of the pearlescent in that. This one on. Perhaps we'll get one more done after this, I think. Okay. Feels like there's still a bit in the middle. Easy bits. It doesn't feel like the middle's quite there, but I'm going to stop and have a look. The little roughness crossing over. I think it's just there, it's just a tiny little ridge. See if that got it. Got it? No, edge, and then let's adjust the profile a tiny bit. Down. I think we'll just get one more done tonight of the two of the large ones I've got left to do. I do want to be finishing basically at 11. I could push and get the last one done. That'll take me 5 or 6 minutes. Maybe I'll get both of them done just to get them done. There we go. So it'll only take me to about 1:15, something like that. Camera froze again. What is up with you tonight, main camera? You've not been having a good evening. Yeah, I think it will not take us too far past 11 to get both of them done. So let's do that. And that means tomorrow it's straight on to the glue chuck and small pendant, which there should be 14 of them to get turned. And all being well, time at the end to do the next resin pour for some pendants made with not fir wood. It should also actually be not just a pendant, not made of not fir wood. There will probably be sufficient leftover resin from that resin pour to fill the remainder of my random pendant mold. Or maybe not quite filled, but it'll certainly be getting much closer to being filled. So. Few more seconds. That's fine. That's our sort of, what call that necessarily is, pinkish, quite pink. Something not quite pink, a bit darker. Purple, I know what purple is, this one's purple. No, that's lilac, that's not purple. Purple is darker. No, not lilac, lavender. But you know your violets from the lavenders. The ultimate one. Well, It's our first actual capture yeet. One of those today. So we're going to fetch that off the floor. To the back. Grab everything for reaching to the back. Try that again. That was because the resin is a little bit not as deep as the wood. The wood comes round, it catches the tool, things go a bit wrong. It's fine. We put it back on. We start again. It's okay. So I try to go a bit lighter on these first cuts. It's slow as well. I could make more cufflinks. I kind of started making a batch of them, and then didn't finish them off. Little Red's crying. I know. We were talking earlier about how neglected he was feeling. He came here with high hopes of doing magical, wonderful things. He did. And that's what I know. I know. I know. I'm heartless. That's what it is. I'm heartless. There's me, neglected lathe behind me. I mean, it's not as neglected as the table saw, which is hidden under a shelf. Or I mean, in all honesty, Opal Pro. Welcome in, and all the raiders. Hello, raiders. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good stream. So many people. So many first-time raider chats. Welcome in, everyone. Glad to have you here. What were you up to on your stream today? How did your stream go? Anything you'd like to share? Please do. Please do. We're working on some hybrid wood and resin pendants today. We're actually not that far off the end of stream ourselves, but we've got one more to turn after this, I think. Yeah, one more to turn after this. We've been working on small business, so you sell Ethiopian opals. Nice. Where did you go? Hello, I'm down here. So yeah, we've been doing a lot of these. Get the right camera. Switch that camera over to that one, actually. That one to that one. And switch it over. There we go. The next batch of these Aurora pendants tonight. Not a raider, it was lurking elsewhere. I can see a lot of raider because it says raider in front of people what raider raided. So 4 of those. They were all, we did the resin pour for these, or finished the resin pour off last night on those. We've got some mini ones which are going to be turning tomorrow. So we've just done the backs of these tonight. Got those flat. The fronts, got 4 of those, they're going to get turned, and a whole load of little one. Now tell them about the trapped moisture. Yeah, so, yeah. There's a really cool effect on these, took me years to perfect. That natural wood edge there, if I can get that into a better focus, you will see. There we go. It looks like it's got like low clouds rolling over the hills. How good, it takes skill. It takes skill to make it look like you've got snow on your hills in a wooden resin pendant. Not everyone can achieve that. 12-week-old twins, and the boys, Owen, are. What that actually is, it looks really good, doesn't it? But what it is, the resin I use is urethane resin, and it really hates moisture. Really hates moisture. It foams with moisture, so you want to get the wood really super dry before you pour the resin. And you put it in a toaster oven to drive any moisture off. I've got some sitting in a bag with a load of silica gel on the saw behind me there for tomorrow, try and drive moisture off. If you don't get that dry enough, the resin foams where it contacts the wood. But it actually has a really cool effect of making it look like there's a low rolling cloud over the hills or snow-covered hills. So it's a bit of a pain because we've got to find all these little voids along the edges and fill those after we've done it. But actually, it's one of those things which it's not meant to be like that. It's not. But happy little accidents and all that sort of thing. Exactly. We don't get too upset when it does happen because it looks amazing. And then everyone can be like, oh wow, how did you do that? So that trade secret. So it took years of practice and skill to mess it up. I mean, make it that good. It's one of those things that you would struggle to do that if you were aiming to do it. I think that's the truth of the matter. If you were aiming to get that effect, you would struggle to get it. Also, Key, love you. Yeah, I'll finish on this one. So all of these that I've done tonight, they've still got to. Oh, that's not focusing, or is it coming to focus? They've still got to go on the buffing wheels to give them their final buff and polish and wax. And that will probably be done after stream or tomorrow or something. And then they simply we drill a tiny little hole at the top for a pinch pail to go through. And then they get mounted on leather, a 2mm leather necklace. TTS has a really weird way of saying cufflinks. It insisted on calling cufflinks. There you go. Make sure that lacquer has dried itself off. One in there. Right there. So one more after this. Yellow one to go, and that'll be us done for tonight. Probably save getting all of them buffed until tomorrow, and then after stream tomorrow night, I can have a bit of time drilling them all out and getting them mounted up and ready to go. So yeah, last one to do is going to be this one here, which is, I think, just straight yellow. It might have a little bit of pearlescence in it. Don't think there's any interference in that one. Right. Right, that's that one finished. It's the last one to go tonight. This one here. Reasonably central. Speed up. Throat looks very dry sometimes. Maybe we won't be turning that one. Did that go all the way down? Have I still got it? Let's have a look. I think. It didn't get lost. It's on the floor. We can recover it. Went straight in with dust extractor. Camera froze. Again. Right. Let's reach down. Get that off the floor. Down the back there. That did go straight into the dust extractor. Fortunately, there was a big drop on my flexible tube part before it lifts up in fixed piping, and sometimes things get caught in that drop. What is up with you tonight, camera? That's it. So you did not get lost, which is good. However, flexible pipe for dust extractor has come off the ducting, so we need to get that reattached quickly, which is going to be a bit of an awkward lean across the lathe to do it. It's fine. Slot you on there. There we go. And you back over here. Right. Let's go back to what we were doing. It's good. kind of weird how it's only on the distance camera it even looks like that's spinning. The two close-up cameras basically look like they're still. That's weird. Well, I think it's weird anyway. Pushing into the edge there. Move yourself in a little pit. If I take too hard a cut, it just disconnects and flies everywhere if you don't want. So let's have a look at the edge first, and then we'll see through the edge, and then we'll see how that sensor at the front's looking. It's okay. Old crap things. Sensor looks fine. Might take it, obviously, bring it a bit more domed to the side. In terms of actual not having weird looking resin bits left in the sensor, would be good. Mm. Worth assembly? And yeah, after this, someone to raid. That's what we need. Find me somebody to raid. Because, what is it? It's coming up to 20 past 11, so 20 minutes over. Already. I think it will be about 20 minutes once we finish this. Nearly done on it. This extractor off now, done with that. Last bit of lacquer. Here, the vacuum pump clinking background. Don't need those on, so we're not missing anymore. A couple of seconds there, and then the final bits of abrasive waxes. So let's get ourselves, while that's just drying and being ready for its waxing bit, sort out what we've got open up here. Let's open that. Keyboard down. See who we got on. Right, that's ready to use our abrasive bits. Got Odin, Traveling Sansa, Crafty Curb, Japanese Printmaker. Basically usual suspects. Very much usual suspects. $9.5 also on. Anyone else? Studio J7. Let's have a look. What are they doing? It's paid promotion. Paid promotions? Miniatures and models. I didn't even know there was a miniatures and models. Oh. Frog, no, can't raid him. Followers only chat. Not raiding someone on followers only chat. There we go. Pop that off. See, vacuum pump off. That's still quite a nice tight seal on that. That'll leak eventually. There we go. So last one. Let's have a look. So let's just put the ones that we've done today up on a table. Get a pretty picture off the camera. On a table that's covered in bits of resin. Yeah, and I just loaded it to have a look, and I noticed followers only, and that's a no-no. I get there's occasions when you have to do that because things are going on, but as a general rule, I can't see a good reason why you should have your chat in followers only. Actually get rid of that one. Yeah. That's the 8 that we finished today. Once they've been buffed at least. Those are the ones we've got to turn tomorrow on a smaller scale. Apart from those two, they're ready for buffing. Those... So how many is it actually I've got there? I was saying some weird number before, and I was wrong. I've actually only got 9 of those to do tomorrow. We've got 9 of those to do tomorrow, and we will also... Let's drop these back in there, because they'll stay there for buffing and polishing. We've got tomorrow, all being well, In this bag here, we best keep it the right way up because it's got a lot of silica beads in there. We've got a big tub of silica beads and a whole load of bits of wood in the bag to try and get them nice and dry, ready for resin pour tomorrow. But these are basically all discs I've cut out of different pieces of wood and then scrolled in 2 sections, definitely not half. So I spent a bit of time just drilling those out with a hole drill, sanding the edges smooth, onto the scroll saw, quick wiggle cut. That's what's in there, and a few bits of burr wood as well. We'll do a resin cast with the non-burr woods with solid colours tomorrow, which will then be ready to turn next week. We'll see how they come out. Not something I've done before. That's a new one on me. I was figuring it's about time I had a bit of a wider choice of woods on the pendants rather than just the burr woods that I've been using for those hybrid pendants all the way through so far. So yeah, that's the plan for tomorrow. So what are we on? 23, 25. I think, having looked at the list of who is on Twitch, it's probably going to have to be Odin. I'll just have a second look just to be sure. But actually, let's have a quick look down who's actually on Makers and Crafting that maybe I don't follow. See if there's anyone who stands out. Odin, Traveling Tassa, Crafty Curb. Lots of people who are always follows. Yeah, the lovely Odina. Exactly. So let's get that set up. So if you're watching on Twitch, which I think most of you are, stay with us for the raid across to Odin the Bearded One, Leatherworker Supreme. If you're not on Twitch, if you're watching on one of the other platforms, then thank you for well, everyone, thank you for watching. Back on tomorrow night, roughly 8 p.m. Roughly, give or take, half an hour, who knows? We've got all those little pendants to get turned and a bit of resin pouring to do. But let's get this raid started. We have had today. There we go. We had a raid from Opal Trove. Whole shed load of new followers. Thank you for those new follows. Pendants to beards. Crafting Odin the Beard ones. There you go. We watch mesmerized. Grab the raid call if you so desire. It's there to use. All the emotes are freely available, I think. There we go. Let me copy that. Right, let's get this going. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. It's been a pleasure having you. Ooh, Old Drum, how you doing? Lots of boots. Booty on the screen. Good to see you just be raiding out. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good week. But we're off to see Odin, the other leather worker. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Great day tomorrow. See you later.